get you going here. Okay, identify yourself, please.
Hi, I'm Jerry Neely, Reverend Neely, and I'm the local NAACP Religious Affairs Chairman. And I'm delighted to have you ask me for an opportunity to share with you why I'm here today.
Okay.
I'm here because there is such a thing in America as the concept, according to a book published in 2003, Conscious Capitalism by the Harvard Review Press and by a gentleman by the name of John Mackey and his associate. But they talk about conscious capitalism. And what they say is that one should not fear to embrace the future. Now, if you want to have upward mobility, is what these individuals are concerned about for the well-being and welfare of their children and their families. I want the best that the good earth has to offer for my children, that I gaze out and see everyone else that has it. And it's just human nature.
That's true. So let me ask you a question. So what exactly was the purpose for your rally today? I mean, what were you here for? Because I didn't see all the signs because it was raining, so.
Well, the purpose is just to support the living wage for the fast food workers across the nation who are really in an untenable position. They are in a no man's land because they really can't make enough to afford all to provide for all their needs, and the cutbacks are affecting them in a very harsh manner, and there's no safety net for them. And so since there's no safety net for them.
Well, let me ask you a question though. You know, with technology, you know, always moving forward, are you concerned that, you know, if the minimum wage gets increased, that perhaps they could just increase their automation, which would mean less jobs at a higher salary, but there would be actually less people hired? Do you have a concern with that?
No, I don't have a concern with that because, as I said, the gentleman said, don't fear to embrace the future, so technology will make it easier for them. I was just online last evening exercising modules just like I did with the University of Michigan and study export-import, where at the SBA they're charging their class for $300. Well, I don't know how I found it, but I did. Now, I also found some others. Now, that's just a good fortune that I had that I would equate to manifest destiny. So, listen, just as there are in our history individuals that were inspired to find a brighter future for themselves, then the way will be made plain for them. And so technology is not to be looked at and abhorred and used as a fear tactic to say that either you take this or we'll just do without you anyway, and do like the Ronald Reagan era done with the what do you call those things?
Air
traffic controllers, and then you just had to call them back and say, well, listen, we really need them. We got this technology, but we rather have some manpower behind it. Now listen, let me just finish by saying what these fellas say. There's such a thing as crony capitalism. They indict us who feed at the public trough, such as corporations like these. And at the same time, you deny a just wage for an employee. Listen.
Well, do you know what the purpose of entry-level jobs were for, though? I mean, historically, perhaps not. You know, it's a little bit different now because our economy has been in such a downturn for the last 4 or 5 years, which is unfortunate. But I mean, I started at a minimum wage jobs, you know, many moons ago when I was 16.
What was that wage relative to the cost of living at that time?
Well, this was back in the 70s.
Yes, and I lived those days too.
There is a different index.
That minimum wage was a lot more relative to what we were doing. If you'll look around, you'll also see that when you and I were working those jobs, we were high school kids.
That's exactly
These are
right.
people trying to raise families.
Absolutely.
They do not and cannot afford access to health care as family people. They're working here, and furthermore, you know, we have a country here is trying to, the president is trying to put in health care for everybody, and it's done, even though they're still trying to do away with it. In the meantime, companies like this are cutting hours, hiring more employees, in fact, working them less hours. Absolutely, the only reason is so they do not have to deal with health care. That needs to be stopped. That's why we're here. This is a day of action for fast food workers all over the nation. They need support. You know, if you got to pay 20 cents more for a taco or a burger, that doesn't bother me. If I knew people in here were making $15 an hour and could support families, hey, double the price.
Well, what about the small business owner? I mean, this might be a chain.
You know, let me tell you.
What about the small business owner?
Let me give you a good comparison. Maybe lately you've looked in the internet, the papers, there was a comparison of Costco and Sam's Club. Two companies do exactly the same business. One has people and courses, by the way, taught by people that run those companies on how to subsidize your substandard wages with government handouts, as they call them. The other one has an average wage of $20 an hour. Same companies, same products, everything. The average length of employment at Costco, 15 to 18 years now. People start, they don't quit, they have good jobs, they're happy. The profits from Costco have outdone the profits
But those are large companies. What I'm asking is, what are you
These
going to
are
do
large companies. This is PepsiCo.
No, but I'm saying, what about the small business owner?
What about them?
Well, there's small business owners that also
If you
own
and I-
restaurants, too. So what about them?
Let me ask you a question. First off, the divide between the rich and poor has grown like crazy. There's a whole lot more poor people. No, this has absolutely part of it. If you're going to ask a question, you're going to have to let me answer it. That is growing every day. And I am assuming, whether you know it or not, you're on the same side we are. You are down here.
I'm just here reporting from the press
but I'm
perspective.
telling you, you're becoming less wealthy while the filthy rich are getting filthier. In the meantime, if you have a business, I can afford to spend money there, I'll do that. But if all I can do is eke out a living, barely feed my family, and have a house over my head, I don't have a penny to spend on your small business.
And you're going to have to depend upon the largesse of your franchisor, not you as the franchisee. And you're going to have to depend upon the good graces of others. Listen, when you have to depend upon the good graces of others, you've lost your independence.
Well, some people can say when you also have to rely on the government for something, you've definitely lost your independence.
When you fear the government that you are a part of, then you have become sort of like, I'm afraid of my neighbor.
Well, isn't that a sad situation that we're in that situation today, that you're not, that you would be afraid of your neighbors or your family members or something like that? I mean, that's a whole broader issue from a cultural perspective, that goes down a whole different path. But so how did you come up with the dollar amount of $15?
We didn't. We're here supporting those that did.
Do you know who did?
Started around the country.
Let me tell you
Do you know who did that?
Let me tell you the thesis of that is if you earn enough, you can pay into the taxes coffers for the subsistence of the Commonwealth. For the subsistence of the Commonwealth.
Is that what our founding fathers?
It is absolutely what the government's supposed to be about. Taking care of the people. That's what government's
That's
about.
what we did.
Not giving to the people, but we should have the right to.
Well, what about if we reformed our tax code so you could keep more of what you earn?
What if we?
We were a trust
the tax
company.
code
When we
so
came
it
to
was
America, we were a
equal.
trust company.
You were a trust company? What was that? I'm sorry, I didn't catch it.
When we came to this shores as a pilgrims, we were a trust company.
I'm not sure. Explain that.
What that means is that we were tied to the economy of each other. And that company that came here was a trust based on a promise from those who help you to build a vehicle and say you could set sail and go to the new country and build and so forth and do forth. You are tied and anchored to your past and one another and the future at the same time. Listen, we cannot afford to have us suspect, divide, and do things that cause us to lose our respect and dignity one for the other. And that's what this real issue is all about. How can I have dignity when my kid is crying, Daddy, I want an ice cream?
So why do you think the unemployment rate then continues to be so high?
It's because those companies keep the money offshore because they don't want to wait. My answer.
Yeah.
My answer. It's because the companies have made tremendous money and they have an abundance of money now. But they are
who's
not.
the largest? Do you know who the largest employer is in our country? Do you know who that is? It's the small business. I mean, they've always been the revving engine to rev up the economy. So where's the small business? I mean, you know, yeah, we have the large corporations that are offshoring things and whatever, but what about the small business? What's happened to the small business?
What happened to Yankee ingenuity? What happened to Yankee ingenuity? That's what your question.
Yeah,
That's your question.
So what happened to that?
That's your question.
What happened to it?
I'll tell you what happened to Yankee ingenuity. He got co-opted by the Confederacy of the current mindset. And I'll tell you, it's in Washington today.
Well, I think there's probably a lot of small businesses that would like to hire or expand, but in this economy and uncertainty, they can't. So, is there anything that you would see that could change that, so that the small business owners could?
Yeah, what you have to do is pay people more. When you pay people more, they have more money to spend.
Yes.
They in turn will support your business and every other business out there. We as members of the community have to be able to make a living where we can go out and spend money. That's what it's all about. The rich know it, and when they finally get it, they will get richer. This country, we're not saying everybody should be equal. This shouldn't be a socialist society.
No, we're not saying
We
that.
can families like we grew up in while we work and make an equitable living.
So I didn't catch your name.
Todd Vega. What's your name, by the way?
I'm Sharon Calvert.
And what do you do?
Well, I'm actually unemployed right now.
Okay.
But I have a blog, so.
Yeah. Okay.
And
So you ask all these pointed questions, Sharon. So obviously you're on the opposite side of the rainbow than we are. And so we ask you a few questions.
Sure.
Why is it you stand behind these questions that you're asking?
Yeah,
Do
well,
you
I'm-
feel threatened by paying people more? Do
No,
you feel like
I
you
didn't-
should be the only one living in the two-story
first of all, I
home
didn't-
as a small business?
I didn't come here
answer
with
the
an
questions.
agenda. I just came to find out what you
No,
were.
we answered
you were-
yours.
Yeah, I know.
Give us equal opportunity.
Well, I'm
I
on
have
the
good questions too.
Equality of results.
equality of. Well, actually, I believe in free markets, and I do believe in capitalism, and I believe that historically.
How do you think the free market's working for you when you're
Well,
unemployed?
you're.
You think that, are you one of those that think if you just try hard, you can be wealthy also?
No, I believe that there's a lot of things we need to do. I
Do
think
you
we
think
need to reform our
everybody
tax
that's
code.
unemployed, you think everybody that's unemployed, like yourself, is there because you didn't try hard enough? Because that's what the other side would have you believe.
Well, I don't know. I can't talk for everybody. I can
Well,
just
you
talk
can't
to
answer
myself.
the questions. That's
No,
what, so I tell you
can
what
just
we're going to
say-
do.
Borders.
We're done answering your questions
Avoidance.
if you can't answer ours. How about that?
Well, that's fine because I didn't actually come to answer
All right,
your
we gave you a lot
questions.
more time than you did
I
give us,
appreciate
so
it.
thank you, and we'll see
And
you
who
later.
are you with?
I am Todd Vega with the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Union.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. Probably a lot of them are small businesses. I
No.
appreciate it.
Yes, they are. You're
All right, thank you very
And they
much.
pay good wages, benefits, and 2 pensions.
And I know that they're
And
very
they're
critical.
still here today and been here 100 years.
And you know what?
That's what everybody needs access to.
And everybody
And
needs a
that's why
good plumber.
And that's why these people are trying to organize so they have access to the same type of life I enjoy.
All right. Well, thank you very much.